Ms Bresnan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Transport and concerns the ACT Government's light rail business case and submission to Infrastructure Australia. Is the ACT Government committed to a light rail system for the ACT? And what is the Government's contingency plan for developing mass rapid transit in the event that the Infrastructure Australia bid is unsuccessful?
Chief Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank Ms Bresnan for the question. Everybody is aware, as the Government announced, that we placed light rail very high on our list of priorities that we believed Infrastructure Australia should support through the Building Australia Fund. I think the attitude that each of us has taken and that successive governments in the ACT have taken in relation to light rail is that it is potentially very expensive infrastructure for a jurisdiction the size of ours. Some of the estimates that have been provided through previous studies that have been taken, and of course studies and estimates that have influenced the view and attitude of successive governments of both Labor and Liberal persuasion over the last 20 years have of course impacted on the decisions that each respective government has taken. We, as a government, saw an opportunity which of course matched our commitment to sustainable transport and the need for a rapid transport but sustainable public transport system to meet the needs of a growing Canberra, that the Infrastructure Australia program and the request by the Commonwealth Government for suggestions for investment in each of the states and territories did provide a window of opportunity for pursuing again the possibility of light rail. I have to say, in response to the question, that I don't believe that at this stage, particularly having regard to the level of investment made into public transport in recent years and the level of investment which public transport through action will require in years to come, that we can piggyback to continue to maintain significant and growing investments in action, our bus network, while at the same time seeking to fund the rollout of light rail. Some of the numbers that have underpinned previous studies are, of course, in the order of billions of dollars. I think it starts at $1 billion for a bare spine of a system throughout the ACT, and I anticipate that the light rail study that's not yet completed, but which is being undertaken by Price Waterhouse will reveal again the level of investment that's required for an operational light rail system within the ACT. The ACT Government is serious about light rail. We're serious about public transport. We're serious about sustainability. We're serious about dealing with the impacts of climate change, and we know that public transport and the needs of a transport system are fundamental to any genuine effort we make at dealing with greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. So yes, we are serious. We are committed. But we're also realistic, and we're also realistic to the tune that with a budget, an annual budget of the order of $3 billion, which reflects the size of this jurisdiction, and with our other capital projects and priorities, for instance, a $1 billion investment in health infrastructure, which we've committed to over the next 10 years, there is, in the context of light rail, of course, an equation that we have to grapple with, and that is the size of our budget, the capacity to roll out infrastructure as expensive as light rail. So at this stage, we, of course, await with genuine interest the outcomes of the bid that we've made to Infrastructure Australia, the Commonwealth, for funding support, and the extent to which we could continue alone or in partnership in relation to light rail will, of course, be dependent very much on the response of the Commonwealth to the bids that we have made to it for infrastructure support. I don't think any of us doubt the need for us to continue to improve public transport, to continue to attract people to public transport. Since the rollout of our latest improvements to the network, there's been a 7+% increase in patronage on action. That is, I think, and would constitute probably the greatest single spike in patronage since self-government of public transport. That in the context of this last 4 months, there's been a 7.4% increase in patronage, and that is a significant spike in our public transport, but of course coming from a base of just 8%. And of course that represents the challenge that we all know about here in the ACT, in a city built for the car, that as we all of course acknowledge the importance of public transport in dealing with climate change, that at this point only 8% of us regularly catch the bus.
Ms Bresnan, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Did the previous or present Transport Minister see the finalised light rail business case prior to being sent to Infrastructure Australia? And can the Minister please table the document that was sent to Infrastructure Australia in the Assembly?
Chief Minister.
Mr President, the government or the Assembly or government was in caretaker at the time that the first draft of the light rail study was received. It was not referred to the government. It was not referred to the Minister or to me. It was pursuant to requests from the Commonwealth in relation to its timelines in determining or considering or giving consideration to applications under the Infrastructure Fund, referred directly to the Commonwealth by the Under-Treasurer without reference to the government. And I believe that was appropriate. My regret, I guess, and the difficulty that the government faces in relation to that, it was a draft document that hadn't been completed. It hadn't actually received any assessment by the ACT government in terms of the work that was constituted in the draft. It was the first draft report by Price Waterhouse. Because of Commonwealth timelines, the Under-Treasurer took the decision without reference to the government to refer the document, the draft, to the Commonwealth. And indeed, the final report has not yet been submitted to the government. I'm hopeful that it will be submitted to the government sooner rather than later. I have had some indications that it may be over this next 2 weeks. If it is, then I'm more than happy to provide that the final report to members of the Assembly and indeed to the public when received. But at this stage, it's a document which the government has not yet received as a final, and on which, of course, in that sense, the government doesn't have a view.